What's up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another reaction video. Now this video is talking about how Texas farmers were begging Black Americans to work on their farms after this whole shutdown, after a lot of these illegal migrants were deported, but a lot of Black people declined. So I want to know your thoughts on this. You know, I recently saw this video and I want to react to it, and I want to get your thoughts on this and what you think about what's happening with all of this. So make sure you chime in the comments below. Also subscribe to the channel if you like the content, share and like the video, and hit that bell to be notified when I upload new content. Let's get into it, you guys. Here we go.
The farmers are complaining that they can't get American workers to work their crops. Duh. You think American people gonna go out there in that hot sun for pennies? Get the f out of here. Yeah, you ain't gonna find no American workers to do that. Oh, don't get me wrong. You can get American workers if you pay them. You're gonna have to pay them a hell of a lot of money to work in that hot sun. They looking at miles and miles of God field. Oh, come on now. You ain't getting American workers to do that.
No more Hispanic workers on his job site, so they called him in.
Not y'all melting. You all are like disintegrating into the rooftops and cement. Like, you voted for Trump so that he could take immigrants out to get jobs back that you never had. And you're dissolving outside in this heat. Y'all should have went for corporate jobs. Go take them out. Go take them out, because you all gonna go extinct at this rate.
Okay, it's fine. We're just gonna burn the crops. Let everybody starve.
Jerry Spencer turned to unemployed Americans, but says after 2 weeks, most couldn't cope.
The farmer says, start over here and end over here. And that was the extent of their instructions. With the American workers, they all had to be taught all this and separate, and in addition to the fact that their bodies just were not built for it.
So now that I have fallen down this rabbit hole, I just jumped on to Twitters, and I got an alt Twitter where I pretend to be a MAGA guy, and I saw a live. And I am not kidding you. This dude, all these dudes these farmer dudes in there, these farm owner dudes, they're saying, well, we thought the blacks would come back and do the jobs because they don't have jobs. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but black people have jobs, and you thought you were getting your slaves back, is basically what you were saying.
Now that's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy to hear. That is insane. You know, that they really think that, well, I mean, and I'm assuming this was going to be black men, right? Black men and women have jobs. I mean, there are a lot of jobs that have been lost, but there are still people who have jobs. They're able to work somewhere to some capacity. Even if it's not in your field, you're able to have a job. They have jobs for the most part. But black men, I mean, well, did they think black men were just gonna just run to those jobs? And on top of that, they're not paying them what they know they should be getting paid. I think that is really the issue. But it's not only that, it's just that type of work. So I think people might be inclined to do that type of work if they were getting paid what they deserved. And so I don't think they want to really pay what they should be paying, because, you know, that will be less money in their pockets. So that was the whole point of having immigrant workers and these people not being truthful about these people's immigration status, because they use them for this cheap labor. Even if they were paying them a little something that's worth more to them, it still is not to the magnitude of what they would have to pay Americans to do those jobs. I'm just saying. And then somebody brought up a good point too. Are they gonna turn to machines? Because there are machines that could do a lot of the labor work out there, but can farmers even afford the utility or the equipment that it would take to get that out there to handle it in that way? Because things are definitely going to have to change. You know, if migrants are being deported up out of here and they can't come back to do that type of work in droves. If Americans themselves don't want to do that type of labor intense work, you're going to have to find an alternative to make your business stay afloat, to keep your business afloat, because otherwise it's going to fall short. Let's continue.
Now you got to be kidding me. Do they think we really looking for farm work? Do they not know that we are educated and we got degrees? And being a farm worker ain't even in the jobs categories that we be looking for. They really don't know how educated some of us are. They don't know how many degrees a lot of us have. They got to be really lost if they think that we want to come and work on their farms. They don't know that our parents and our grandparents growing up wouldn't even let us be outside if it wasn't no shade outside. Do they really think that we gonna work on a farm where ain't no shade trees at? I hate to disappoint y'all, baby, but you're gonna have to get somebody else to do it, because we ain't working on nobody's farm. Never.
Texas is continuing the F around and find out stage. Guess what just hit 0 before Donald Trump's approval rating? Right there. Farm labor attendance, 0. Entire fields, whole crews are ghosting fields, leaving fruits and vegetables to rot because the Donald Trump administration is too busy playing cat and mouse with people who just want to feed America. To the MAGA people who are saying that immigrants are taking your job, this right here is your opportunity. Pick yourselves up by the bootstraps, get those buckets, and pick those strawberries. No more hiding behind those welfare checks that are padded behind blue state dollars. You wanted the raids, you got them. Now get in those fields and pick those fruits and vegetables before you watch the produce aisle turn to a luxury boutique section. Chop, chop, MAGA. And that's it.
It's Joe from Georgia. So this is news out of Texas. But folks, these are alarm bells ringing for the entire United States. And our government is not listening. Overnight, multiple farms in the state of Texas completely shut down. And the reason for this shutdown was because they have lost almost 100% of their workforce.
Dang.
Now, we know this is the result of...
Now, wait, before he continues. You know, we talked about this in a previous live stream. I remember them saying in the live that Donald Trump, he didn't think it through. What do you guys think? Do you think there's an end game to all of this? Does he have a plan? Because it kind of does seems like he didn't think it through. He just rounded these people up like, to hell with it. We come on, y'all gotta go, y'all gotta go, y'all gotta go. Not was he fully thinking about the effects of this and how this could affect the economy, how it could affect the people going to the grocery stores, and how these farms and these people are going to operate. Is it something we're missing? Does he have a plan? Does he have a plan that we are not seeing just yet? It is affecting these farmers in a major way, to a major degree, to a major level. And they're having a hard time. They say some of them are going bankrupt because they don't have a workforce. What is the main goal for this? Is there a plan after all of this is done? I guess only time will tell, but let's continue.
The immigration raids and stricter enforcement, but the ripple effect is going to be felt all the way across this country. Now, you've got crops that are rotting in the fields. You have livestock that is not being attended to at all. And that takes a lot of personnel. And we're talking, so now we're getting every area of food to include meat. And the communities that surround these farms, those businesses and those people who depend on the income from these farms, it's creating disasters for small communities in Texas. Now, this is not stopping at Texas farms. This is going to end up all the way across America, especially in the breadbasket, the middle of the nation, because they have tons of immigrant help. But folks, the alarm bells are ringing. Your food on your plate is being affected. So you got to think about it. It won't be soon until either prices go ridiculously high or you just won't have any food to buy.
So my wife was having a conversation with a family member who happens to be married to a farmer, and the family member was talking about how they recently had lost a number of workers due to deportations, and how that was going to affect them, that work on the farm wasn't going to get done, that they might not produce as much milk or as much grains as they normally would because they wouldn't have the workers to get this done. And once again, it shows that, one, Trump supporters, as these individuals are, don't care about the people. They care about only things when they affect themselves. They only care when it's going to affect the money that they make, or in this case, that they're actually going to have to go out and do what farmers should be doing, which is working in their fields, working in their barns. They didn't care that the people are deported. They care that they might lose some money and that they're going to have to actually work for a little bit of time. They don't care about the people. And it's another one of those "we told you so" moments.
White farmers have been like complaining, like, where are all the black people?
Now, before we get into that, I want to chime in on something. You know, I think for a lot of people, it's about the money. I mean, if you have a bunch of farmers or anybody who's running a business, and you're heavily using illegal immigrants to run your business, it's about the money for you too, because you're doing it to make more money. You're using them for cheap labor so that you can make more money. And so it's always about the money, no matter what side you're on. So on one hand, yes, you can say Donald Trump or whoever, they don't care about the people. It's about money or something that or the voters. It's about what benefits them. Well, I think a lot of people vote, you know, the way they vote, whether it's Democrat, Republican, the independent, however you vote, right? That's your right to vote how you want to, for your interest and how you want to vote. But I think everybody's voting for their own interest. Everybody's, you know, they're in their minds, they're thinking, that's the whole purpose of deciding on a candidate based on their views and what they, you know, say they're going to do for, you know, the country, the economy, whatever. And you choose that candidate based on things that align with what you believe in, right? So everybody's voting and picking a person who's going to have what they believe their best interest at heart. So if people vote for, whether it's Democrat, Republican, whatever, you vote for, either you want lower taxes or you want certain, you know, benefits that, you know, if you vote this way, you're going to get these benefits. Everybody does it on both sides. Everybody is voting or doing things that they think they're going to benefit from. So a lot of these people voted for Donald Trump because they thought that his views and his policies would benefit them. When he said "Make America Great Again," in their minds, they're like, "Oh, okay, we're going to get rid of the bad people." They're thinking totally different. They're not thinking that they didn't think that it was going to affect to the knocking at their door. They thought it meant something else. So they voted in what they thought was their best interest. The same way people vote for the things that they want. People vote democratically for reasons that they believe is going to support their interests. Whether it's money, whether it's certain policies that they think they're gonna benefit from, everybody is doing it. So I don't think it's a one side or the other. Everybody votes on a certain way based on what they think they're gonna benefit from. That's just what it is. So, you know, to me, I don't think it's a Democratic or a Republican thing or a Donald Trump or whoever. People are voting for certain interests that they think are going to benefit them, whether it's money, whether it's policies, taxes, whatever, certain whatever. So everybody is doing it. I mean, I just wanted to point that out. Let's continue.
Because, see, they really didn't care that apparently they didn't care that ICE was coming and picking up their workers, because they were of the thought that black people would come and take their place and work for a lower wage. So, you know, you can't have razor bumps in the military. Oh, you can't, they couldn't Job Corps, they couldn't benefits, Medicaid, Medicare, because the assumption is that these programs that the government funds, only black people participate in them. So if we cut all of these out, they'll be forced to come back to the fields. Much like back when black women decided not to work, they made it a law that if any black woman wasn't working, they would go to jail. So white women wouldn't have to work. And so now they're shocked, like, we've taken all these things from black people. Why aren't they in the fields? And it's mighty funny how when all of the jobs were being cut and lost, the main demographic who suffered were black women. Over 100,000 jobs of black women were lost because you figured, oh, if we get them out of there, they'll be forced to go into the fields. So you got rid of the DEI, thinking that we were DIE when we got out there. This is what happens when y'all be in black people business and you don't understand it. Because if we did to you the same thing you're doing to us, you would falter and crumble. Because you can't understand any culture outside of yourself, you don't understand that in our culture is embedded making a way out of no way. You don't know anything about that. You don't understand African American vernacular. When we say like get active or get in the field, you took it literally. We're not going out there. That food is gonna rot.
What do you guys think about what she had to say? Please chime in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this whole situation here that's happening. What do you think the end goal is going to be? What are your thoughts on the whole farmer situation with the migrants and all of this? How do you think this is going to, what is this going to look like in the next 4, 6, 8 years, 10 years? How do you think this is all going to pan out? Chime in the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.